welcome to Green Garden Community TV, where small spaces turn into big inspiration. Think your tiny backyard has no potential? Think again. In 2025, landscaping trends are rewriting the rules with bold, beautiful ideas made just for compact yards. From curved stone paths that feel like nature trails, to sunken garden zones that create instant depth, to grass carpets, floating flower beds, and sculptural planters that blend form and function. These aren't just design ideas, they're space-making secrets you'll wish you knew sooner. Ready to discover the backyard trends everyone will be copying this year? Let's dive in. Tired of square edges and harsh angles in your tiny backyard? In 2025, the hottest landscaping trend turns that concept on its head, literally, with curved, natural stone pathways that soften the layout and transform small spaces into tranquil escapes. There's something unexpectedly calming about a garden path that curves gently through your yard. It invites you to slow down, to explore, to enjoy each moment as you walk from one end of your garden to the other. Unlike traditional straight paths that divide the yard into stiff sections, curved paths create movement, flow, and a sense of endless space. Even the smallest backyard starts to feel like a winding nature trail. Natural stone is the material of choice this year. From tumbled flagstone to hand-cut pavers, the texture, tone, and organic irregularity of stone blends beautifully with nature. Each step becomes a tactile experience, earthy, grounded, and surprisingly elegant. Paired with low-growing ground covers like creeping thyme or moss, the pathway feels alive, fresh, and effortlessly stylish. What makes this trend perfect for small backyards is how it tricks the eye. The gentle curves draw attention across the space instead of straight through it, making the area appear larger and more layered. It's a classic garden illusion with modern appeal. If you're ready to ditch harsh lines and bring elegance back to your outdoor space, this trend is your go-to in 2025. Whether you're working with 200 square feet or 20, the natural curve of a stone path brings luxurious calm to every corner of your backyard. In the landscape world of 2025, sharp lines are being softened and replaced with natural curves, especially in small backyards. One of the most elegant and functional ways this trend shows up is through curved natural stone pathways. These aren't just aesthetic flourishes, they're smart space solutions that also elevate your outdoor environment to a more refined, artistic level. Unlike traditional straight paths that slice through a backyard and visually limit the space, curved pathways create an illusion of movement and depth. They give a sense of discovery and make your backyard feel more like a miniature park or secret garden than a boxed-in outdoor area. The subtle winding motion leads the eye around gentle corners, drawing attention to different focal points: a flower bed, a potted plant, or even a small water feature. This enhances the overall sense of space and variety, which is critical in compact yards. The material matters too. In 2025, natural stone like slate, flagstone, or granite is taking the lead over synthetic pavers. Its imperfections and textures connect visually with the surrounding earth and greenery, giving the pathway a timeless, grounded feel. Stones laid in a semi-random pattern complement the curves, making the layout feel organic rather than engineered. Earthy tones such as sandstone beige, soft gray, or even rich terracotta fit right into this natural aesthetic. Complementing these paths with low ground cover such as creeping thyme, moss, or dwarf mondo grass keeps the focus on the pathway while adding life and softness to the edges. This layering of texture avoids the flat look and injects gentle movement into the yard, both visually and literally. This trend is also functional. Curved paths naturally direct foot traffic in a more relaxed and meandering way, reducing compaction on surrounding garden beds and keeping people off the lawn. If you're planning different zones in your backyard like a reading corner, a fire pit area, or a small herb garden, curved paths help separate them without building physical dividers. What truly sets this look apart in 2025 is how it brings emotional value to small outdoor spaces. The gentle curves, the crunch of stone underfoot, and the interplay of light and shadow as the sun moves over the irregular surfaces combine to form a sensory experience. It's no longer just about functionality, it's about atmosphere. And if you think this is a high-budget idea, think again. You can DIY a curved path using reclaimed stone or affordable slate pieces. Even a narrow path just 2 feet wide can make a massive impact if designed with flow in mind. For homeowners seeking to make a small backyard feel expansive, peaceful, and sophisticated, curved, natural stone pathways are the must-have landscaping feature of 2025. In 2025, one of the boldest trends for small backyards is going below ground literally. Welcome to the rise of sunken garden zones, where even a modest dip in elevation adds a dramatic flair to your outdoor design. It's not just about looks, it's about transforming a flat, limited yard into a multi-dimensional oasis. Imagine stepping down just a few inches into a cozy, recessed nook surrounded by greenery. It feels like a secret garden tucked away from the rest of the yard, private and peaceful. This depth change creates natural boundaries, defining the space without using walls or fences. Suddenly, your small backyard has rooms, and each one feels special. Designers in 2025 are using sunken areas for flower beds, seating lounges, or decorative gravel zones with stepping stones. It's an effective way to introduce contrast, texture, and height variation, all key to making a compact space feel rich and layered. Plus, if you're working with a sloped yard, this trend turns a challenge into an advantage. This isn't a trend reserved for luxury estates. Even in a 15 by 15 foot yard, you can carve out a 6-inch sunken patch and turn it into the star of your outdoor design. Pair it with curved steps, stone walls, or soft-edged planters, and you've created a true focal point that draws the eye and the conversation. A sunken garden feels intentional. It tells visitors, this isn't just a backyard. This is a designed space. Whether you're sipping coffee in a recessed seating area or admiring the layered look of a lowered flower bed, you'll notice how this simple drop in height adds surprising elegance. The trend of sunken garden zones is redefining how we experience space in 2025. In small backyards where every square foot matters, creating a slight drop in elevation can unlock a whole new world of design potential. It's not about going deep, it's about creating dimension, both visually and experientially. A sunken zone typically dips about 6 to 18 inches below the main yard level. While that might seem minor, the effect is major. This modest shift creates a cozy, enclosed feeling even in a wide-open space. The visual break draws the eye downward, making the surrounding space appear taller and broader by contrast. The result? A small backyard suddenly feels more layered and immersive. Designers are leveraging this sunken approach to carve out distinct areas within a yard. One common use is a recessed seating area. Think of a circular stone or gravel zone with a couple of minimalist chairs, surrounded by lush plantings that peek over the edge. Others use the lowered space to host a central flower bed or ornamental tree, turning it into a natural stage. Another popular 2025 twist, adding built-in stone steps or timber ledges along the perimeter of the sunken zone. These double as informal seating or display areas for planters and garden art. It creates a blended transition from the upper to the lower section and offers texture, shadow, and visual interest key elements for small space design. If your backyard has natural slopes or uneven ground, this trend works even better. Instead of fighting the terrain with expensive grading, lean into it. Dig a little deeper in one corner, reinforce it with a retaining border of natural stone or wood, and you've created a sunken jewel with half the effort. Plants also play a powerful role. Choose lush greenery that leans outward: ferns, hostas, lavender, or cascading grasses to soften the drop and create a cocoon-like effect. In drier climates, use succulents, stone mulch, and layered agaves for a desert modern vibe. Maintenance-wise, a sunken zone doesn't add complexity. As long as you install proper drainage using gravel layers or a discreet trench, the area will stay dry and stable. It's a strategic upgrade that adds luxury without a luxury budget. Psychologically, there's something grounding about stepping down into a space. It signals rest, reflection, and intentionality. Whether you use it for lounging, gardening, or simply as a visual accent, a sunken garden zone encourages you to engage with your backyard differently. In short, 2025 is about more than plants and pavers, it's about experience. And nothing transforms the mood of a small yard faster than playing with depth. A sunken garden zone isn't just stylish, it's immersive. If there's one thing small backyards need more of in 2025, it's openness, and the solution might be simpler than you think. Say goodbye to heavy borders, jagged flower beds, and hard transitions. This year's must-have look is the green carpet effect, a lush, uninterrupted grass lawn with minimal or no edging at all. And yes, it makes your yard feel way bigger. This minimalist approach is all about removing visual clutter. When a lawn flows seamlessly from corner to corner, without concrete or wood interrupting the view, the result is clarity, simplicity, breathing space. The entire yard feels more expansive, like a single unified surface. Even if your backyard is only 10 feet deep, a grass carpet can make it feel wide open and inviting. In place of borders or frames, homeowners are opting for clean transitions using natural stone, soft mulch, or just the edge of well-maintained turf. No hard lines. No distractions. The grass becomes the main character, transforming your yard into a living floor. Whether you're using drought-tolerant grass, hybrid turf, or artificial grass that looks stunning year-round, the green carpet trend offers unmatched versatility. Add a few potted plants, a bench, or one standout tree, and suddenly, your space looks intentional without being overworked. This trend isn't just about looks, it's about how the space feels. Walking barefoot across smooth grass without bumping into bricks or metal edging brings a kind of freedom that small yards rarely offer. It's a playground, a lounge zone, and a calming retreat all at once. In 2025, less is more, and your lush lawn is more powerful than you realize. With the green carpet look, your small backyard becomes an uninterrupted canvas of comfort and calm. In the world of modern backyard design, 2025 is bringing a major shift from fragmented and overstructured layouts to expansive, minimalist surfaces. And the trend leading the charge? The seamless grass carpet, a clean, unbroken lawn with minimal edging that transforms even the tiniest outdoor area into a bold, open retreat. This concept revolves around visual continuity. Instead of sectioning off the yard with stone, wood, or metal edges, designers are opting for one uninterrupted surface that feels wide, soft, and breathable. For small backyards, it's a design game changer. Because every edge, border, and divider breaks up the space. These interruptions, while functional in some cases, can make compact yards feel cluttered or chopped up. But a continuous green lawn opens the area, elongates sight lines, and instantly makes the yard feel more spacious. It's an optical illusion that works wonders, especially in urban environments or homes with limited square footage. The green carpet doesn't mean sacrificing function. You can still have seating areas, planters, or garden beds, but they become accents, not barriers. For example, instead of boxing in a tree with bricks or concrete, let the tree emerge naturally from the grass with a subtle mulch ring. Or float a minimalist bench in the middle of the lawn for a sculptural, modern look. When it comes to material, the options are wide. For eco-conscious homeowners, drought-tolerant grasses like zoysia or fine fescue provide sustainability and style. For families with pets or kids, high-quality artificial turf is a low-maintenance way to keep the clean lines year-round without mowing, watering, or mud. What's important is the transition. In this design, transitions between surfaces are nearly invisible. Instead of a 3-inch concrete border, use soft gravel or let the turf gently meet a pathway. The idea is to blur the lines between elements, not highlight them. Another major benefit? Maintenance simplicity. Without edging materials to collect debris or shift over time, lawn care becomes easier and neater. It also removes trip hazards and offers more freedom of movement for lounging, games, or spontaneous barefoot walks. The minimalist lawn aesthetic also pairs beautifully with modern outdoor furniture, potted plants, and sculptural features. A smooth green base highlights whatever you place on it. Think of it like a clean gallery wall but for your backyard. But the true genius of this 2025 trend is emotional. Walking across an uninterrupted lawn feels freeing. It evokes childhood memories, invites spontaneous play, and delivers calm. It's a sanctuary that doesn't try too hard, just nature, quietly curated. So whether you're working with a 10 by 10 foot patch or a narrow side yard, embracing a seamless grass carpet can redefine your outdoor experience. It's modern, elegant, and unexpectedly powerful. Ready to break up the flat, predictable look of your small backyard? In 2025, landscape designers are turning to one clever solution that adds instant charm, shape, and dimension: island garden beds. These free-floating planting zones are popping up in compact yards everywhere, and for good reason. Island garden beds are not attached to fences, borders, or walls. Instead, they're strategically placed in open spaces, usually the middle of a lawn or gravel section, where they act as natural focal points. Picture a kidney-shaped garden bed filled with ornamental grasses, wildflowers, or sculptural shrubs. It doesn't just decorate your yard, it anchors it. This design trend plays with negative space in a powerful way. Rather than placing everything around the edge and leaving the center empty, island beds draw the eye inward, giving your yard a center of gravity. Suddenly, a flat square of grass becomes a curated scene. The magic lies in the organic shape. No sharp corners, no harsh lines, just gentle, flowing edges that mimic forms found in nature. Whether you prefer minimalist succulents or a burst of colorful perennials, the floating format makes every plant feel intentional and showcased. Island beds also help divide your small backyard without building walls. You can place seating behind one, or add a stepping stone path that flows around it, creating a natural rhythm that invites exploration. In a world where every square foot counts, Island garden beds provide the perfect mix of beauty and function. They're bold without being busy, structured without being stiff. And in 2025, they're one of the most effective ways to make a small yard feel like a work of art. In the evolving world of small backyard design, one of the smartest and most visually rewarding 2025 trends is the use of island garden beds. These free-form planting beds float independently in the middle of open space, offering an eye-catching alternative to the typical border-based layout. They're sculptural, intentional, and incredibly versatile. The concept is simple. Rather than lining your plants against fences or walls, you create a standalone garden bed in the center or slightly off-center of your yard. This technique immediately changes how the space feels. The open area is no longer just empty lawn. It becomes a frame for something dynamic and alive. These beds often take on soft, irregular shapes: oval, crescent, teardrop, or kidney-shaped, because curves help soften the space and mimic the flow of nature. In a small backyard, where straight lines can feel confining, organic curves bring comfort and visual interest. Planting combinations are where your creativity shines. You might fill your island with ornamental grasses like fountain grass or feather reed grass for gentle movement in the breeze. Or go for a mix of height and color: tall foxgloves or echinacea in the center, surrounded by mid-height shrubs, and bordered with trailing ground covers like creeping jenny or alyssum. These layered combinations add depth and seasonal interest without overwhelming the space. One big perk of this trend is how it improves spatial flow. You can build a stone path that wraps around the bed, creating a circular walking experience that expands the perceived space. Add a minimalist bench nearby, and you've carved out a meditative retreat. Or place the island off-center to create asymmetry, a favorite trick in modern design to add intrigue and tension. From a maintenance standpoint, island beds are straightforward. With well-defined edges, either natural, mulched, or lightly framed by stones, they're easy to mow around or trim neatly. Plus, with no wall or fence to compete with, plants grow more evenly, benefiting from full sunlight and air circulation. This design also invites artistic expression. You can place a sculpture, bird bath, or even a compact water feature at the center of the island. These details turn the bed into a real showpiece, like a centerpiece on a table that instantly draws your eye and defines the mood. For tiny yards, island garden beds offer a big design payoff. They allow you to bring in a strong visual feature without adding bulk. Instead of filling your space with hard structures, you create softness, rhythm, and flow with something entirely natural. In 2025, small backyards are moving away from flat, border-heavy designs. With island beds, the center becomes just as important as the edges. You reclaim that middle ground, not to fill it up, but to elevate it. And in doing so, you give your backyard a heartbeat. When water is scarce and maintenance time is limited, the 2025 backyard trend that's winning hearts is gravel gardens, a modern, low-water design that brings instant calm, texture, and visual warmth to even the tiniest outdoor space. But don't think of dry, barren rock beds. Today's gravel gardens are full of life and layered beauty. Picture soft pathways framed by flowering lavender, silvery sage, upright grasses, and sculptural succulents, all rising from a base of crushed granite or pea gravel. It's rustic and refined at the same time. This style is exploding in popularity for small backyards because it replaces thirsty lawns with something more artful and climate-conscious. Gravel acts as both a ground cover and a design element, bringing softness to modern lines and grounding bright greens and deep purples with its neutral tones. The effect is serene and visually rich without the clutter. Even in just a 10 by 10 foot corner, a gravel garden can create a private oasis that feels larger than it is. Without raised beds or hard edges, the space flows organically. Drought-tolerant plants flourish in this setup, creating layered texture and color while requiring very little water and maintenance. And it's not just for hot, dry climates. Gravel gardens adapt well to many regions with the right plant selection. They're also weed-resistant, drainage-friendly, and surprisingly budget-friendly to install, especially compared to traditional lawns or wood decks. So if your backyard goal is peace, purpose, and modern sophistication, skip the grass and go for gravel. In 2025, this trend isn't just about saving water, it's about creating a small space sanctuary that feels effortless, elegant, and enduring. Gravel gardens are having a moment in 2025, and it's easy to see why. In a world increasingly focused on sustainability, low-maintenance living, and modern aesthetics, this landscaping approach checks every box. For small backyard owners, gravel gardens are not just smart, they're stunning. At its core, a gravel garden replaces grass or heavy ground cover with gravel or crushed stone, providing a neutral, calming foundation. On top of that base, designers layer drought-tolerant plants. Think lavender, blue fescue, lamb's ear, echinacea, yarrow, sedum, and rosemary. These resilient species thrive in tough conditions, often requiring little more than full sun and good drainage to flourish. But what truly sets a gravel garden apart is its texture and tone. The muted, natural colors of gravel, soft gray, warm beige, or pale pink create contrast against green foliage and flowering plants. This contrast enhances the visual impact of every plant and gives the entire space a sculptural, intentional feel. Even the shadows cast by sunlight across the gravel contribute to the serene atmosphere. For small backyards, this approach offers major advantages. Because gravel is a flat surface, it doesn't close in the space the way bulky borders or raised planters can. The layout feels open, flowing, and grounded. You can define paths or sections within the yard simply by changing gravel color or size, no hard edges needed. The result? A modern, minimalist space that feels curated without being over-designed. Functionally, gravel gardens are ideal for tight urban spaces or areas prone to water restrictions. Gravel suppresses weeds, allows rainwater to soak naturally into the soil, and keeps root systems cool in summer. Once established, the plants in a gravel garden typically require only periodic watering and occasional pruning, perfect for homeowners with busy schedules or limited gardening experience. Gravel also works beautifully with stepping stones, wood accents, and natural stone features. Want to add a seating area? Place a few Adirondack chairs or a teak bench right on the gravel, no patio slab needed. You can also embed a stone fire pit or a minimalist fountain directly into the gravel base, integrating hardscape with softscape effortlessly. And contrary to common belief, gravel gardens aren't just for desert climates. With proper plant selection, they thrive in coastal, temperate, and even cooler regions. What matters most is drainage. A simple base layer of crushed stone or sand beneath the gravel ensures water flows away from the roots. From a design perspective, gravel gardens bring a peaceful, meditative quality. They invite slower movement, barefoot strolls, and quiet reflection. Without the buzz of a mower or the constant upkeep of grass, you're left with a space that simply exists, serene, natural, and quietly luxurious. In 2025, small backyard design is less about filling space and more about elevating it. Gravel gardens do exactly that, with style, simplicity, and sustainability at the core. In 2025, flat, one-dimensional garden borders are out and lush, layered borders are in. Small backyards are going big on texture and biodiversity with mixed border planting, a trend that transforms edges into dynamic, living frames full of movement, color, and seasonal surprise. What's mixed border planting? It's the art of combining various plant types, ground covers, flowering perennials, shrubs, and ornamental grasses into a carefully arranged border that blends heights, textures, and tones. Unlike a line of identical hedges or flowers, these borders look alive, constantly evolving, and deeply personal. In small backyards, every inch counts. And that's why this technique is so powerful. A single mixed border along a fence or wall can become the visual anchor of your entire yard. Instead of spreading out plants across the entire space, you concentrate them into one beautiful, cascading wall of green layered like a natural tapestry. The result? Texture. From spring to fall, your garden looks different every few weeks, an ever-changing display that never feels stale. Low-growing plants like creeping thyme and sweet alyssum spill forward, mid-level favorites like echinacea and lavender provide structure, and tall grasses or butterfly bushes in the back add movement and height. Best of all, this look is totally customizable. You can go soft and romantic with pastels and trailing vines, or bold and modern with spikes, purples, and deep foliage. And by using native plants, you'll attract pollinators and reduce watering needs at the same time. In 2025, borders aren't just borders, they're the star of the show. If you want to bring layered beauty to your backyard without crowding the center, mixed border planting is the lush, low-footprint solution you'll love. When designing a small backyard in 2025, the most valuable real estate is often the outer edges. That's where mixed border planting comes into play, a design approach that blends texture, color, and form into a rich botanical display that defines the yard without overwhelming it. The mixed border technique layers different plant types in a gradual flow, from low growers at the front to tall structural plants at the back. The idea is to create a natural transition that feels both intentional and organic, like something you'd find on the edge of a wild meadow but with modern flair. Start with a base layer of ground cover. Options like creeping thyme, sedum, or sweet alyssum keep the soil covered and add delicate blooms near ground level. These soft edges pull your eye downward and add softness along pathways or fences. The middle layer is where most of the visual drama happens. Here, plant perennials like echinacea, salvia, black-eyed Susan, or catmint. These plants offer consistent blooms, pollinator support, and a range of textures. You can mix leaf shapes, flower sizes, and colors to keep things visually interesting. At the back, use structural elements like ornamental grasses, such as miscanthus or fountain grass, tall shrubs like hydrangeas, or statement plants like butterfly bush or hollyhock. These taller species form the backbone of the border, drawing the eye upward and giving the yard a sense of depth. What's wonderful about mixed borders is their flexibility. You can design one to suit your personal style, modern and sculptural with sharp textures, or soft and romantic with airy blooms. And since they hug the perimeter, you preserve the open feel of your yard's center while making the edges truly shine. In practical terms, mixed borders are ideal for small yards because they're space efficient. Instead of spreading plants across a flat lawn, you focus your planting power in a linear zone that runs along a fence, patio edge, or wall. This maximizes plant diversity in minimal space. Another 2025 advantage? Biodiversity and sustainability. A thoughtfully layered border attracts pollinators, reduces erosion, and supports beneficial insects. By using native and drought-tolerant species, you cut back on maintenance while creating a more resilient ecosystem. To keep your mixed border looking fresh year-round, incorporate a mix of evergreen shrubs, seasonal bloomers, and plants with strong winter silhouettes. This ensures visual interest even when the flowers fade. And by planting in odd-numbered clusters 3s, 5s, you'll achieve a more natural, flowing rhythm. From a design perspective, mixed borders also help hide fences and hardscape. Instead of staring at a blank wall, your eye is drawn to a living display of color and movement. In a tight space, that's a huge visual upgrade. In short, mixed border planting in 2025 is about more than just filling space. It's about turning your yard's edges into layered, living art and giving your small backyard the depth and vitality it truly deserves. Looking for a small backyard feature that blends beauty, structure, and nature in one seamless design? In 2025, raised natural stone planters with organic curves are making waves, proving that elegance doesn't require excess space. Imagine this: a soft, curved planter built from hand-laid stones, gently arching along the edge of your patio or wrapping around a small lawn. It's more than just a container for plants, it's sculpture. It has texture, movement, and intention. These planters don't box your garden in, they shape it like flowing artwork. In small backyards, curved raised beds offer the best of both worlds. The elevation adds depth and focus, while the curves break up the rigid geometry of walls and fences. It softens hard spaces and invites the eye to follow the line, creating a natural sense of rhythm and flow. Natural stone is the star here. In 2025, homeowners are embracing materials like slate, fieldstone, and granite in their raw, imperfect beauty. These textures ground the planter in the landscape, making it feel like it's always belonged there. No slick concrete or prefab walls, just earthy, handcrafted style. And the function? Incredible! Raised planters improve drainage, protect delicate roots, and allow for dense, layered planting even in compact yards. Use them for herbs, succulents, cascading flowers, or a curated mix of ornamental grasses. Their curves make it easy to design from any angle. If you want your small backyard to feel more like a curated outdoor gallery, rich in detail but free of clutter, this trend is the one to try. In 2025, garden beds aren't just functional, they're a form of self-expression. And curved stone planters speak volumes in the most natural, stylish way possible. In today's outdoor design scene, 2025 is turning small backyards into intimate art galleries, one curved planter at a time. Raised natural stone planters with organic curves are the go-to feature for anyone wanting to elevate their garden game with a perfect mix of structure, beauty, and flexibility. These planters aren't just functional, they're sculptural. Crafted from stacked or mortared stones like granite, slate, or fieldstone, they bring a timeless, handcrafted aesthetic to outdoor spaces. Unlike the straight-edged wood boxes of the past, these curved designs move with the landscape, embracing it instead of cutting through it. For small backyards, this design choice is genius. Curved beds soften the layout and lead the eye in smooth motions, which visually expands the space. A gently winding stone wall that hugs a corner or curves along a path creates a sense of enclosure without feeling boxed in. The organic shapes mimic natural contours, helping your yard feel more like a wild garden than a structured grid. From a practical standpoint, raised beds offer big benefits in small footprints. They allow for deeper soil, improved drainage, and better root development. This means healthier plants and more success with herbs, vegetables, flowers, or native shrubs even in limited soil conditions. Curved stone planters also make excellent use of vertical layering. The elevation provides an opportunity to stagger plant heights, ground covers spilling over the sides, mid-height blooms filling the center, and vertical accents like ornamental grasses or rosemary standing tall. You can create a lush micro-ecosystem in a single planter. The material itself plays a huge role in the planter's charm. In 2025, the trend is natural and imperfect. Rough-hewn stone with color variation and irregular edges adds texture and interest, contrasting beautifully with soft greenery. The stone absorbs warmth during the day and releases it at night, creating a stable microclimate for plants. And because it's durable, a well-built stone planter will last for decades without needing replacement. In terms of placement, these planters shine in corners, curves, or along patios where space is tight. You can also use them to divide sections of your yard, marking off a quiet reading area or anchoring a central focal point like a sculpture or small tree. They can be low and sprawling or taller and narrow, depending on your goals and available square footage. Maintenance is refreshingly simple. Once established, your plants thrive with minimal watering, and the stone walls help retain moisture where it's needed. Seasonal cleanup is easy, and the structure itself never goes out of style. Ultimately, raised natural stone planters with curves do more than grow plants, they grow character. They add timeless style, shape your space, and offer a deeply satisfying balance of form and function. In a world of prefab solutions, these planters are proof that authenticity, artistry, and a connection to the earth never go out of fashion. Thank you for exploring these fresh and inspiring small backyard trends with us. At the heart of every great outdoor space is the belief that beauty and functionality can thrive even in the smallest settings. We hope these 2025 landscaping ideas help you see your backyard not just as a side project, but as a personal retreat waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this guide, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with fellow garden lovers. And remember, great design starts with intention, not size. See you in the next video. Until then, keep growing with purpose and style.